The world's largest group of oil producers, OPEC+, stuck to its guns on Saturday with another big increase of 411,000 barrels per day for July, as it looks to wrestle back market share and punish overproducers. Having spent years curbing production, more than 5 million barrels a day, BPD, or 5% of world demand, 8 OPEC+ countries made a modest output increase in April before tripling it for May, June, and now July. U.S. crude futures fell Friday due to fears that OPEC+ would boost oil output for July beyond previous forecasts. Brent crude futures were down by 22 cents, or 0.34%, at $63.93 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was last down 21 cents, or 0.34%, at $60.73 a barrel, having earlier dropped more than $1 a barrel. OPEC+ members are spurring production despite the extra supply weighing on crude prices as group leaders Saudi Arabia and Russia seek to win back market share as well as punish overproducing allies such as Iraq and Kazakhstan. Today's decision only goes to show that market share is on top of the agenda. If price will not get you the revenues you want, they are hoping that volume will, said analyst Harry Chilingurian of Onyx Capital Group. The 8 countries held an online meeting on Saturday to set July production. They also discussed other options, an OPEC+ delegate said. On Friday, sources familiar with OPEC+ talks had said they could discuss an even larger hike. In a statement, OPEC+ cited a, quote, steady global economic outlook and current healthy market fundamentals, as reflected in the low oil inventories, as its reasoning for the July increase. OPEC+ pumps about half of the world's oil and includes OPEC members and allies such as Russia. Its increased supply is weighing on crude prices, squeezing all producers, but some more than others, including a key group of rivals, U.S. shale producers, analysts say. 3 strikes from OPEC+, and none were softballs. May warned, June confirmed, and July fires a shot across the bow, said Jorge Leon, head of geopolitical analysis at Rystad and a former OPEC official. Since April, the OPEC+ 8 have now made or announced increases totaling 1.37 million barrels of oil per day, or 62% of the 2.2 million barrels of oil per day they aim to add back to the market. Higher summer oil demand favors increasing output at this time, OPEC+ officials, including Russian Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak, have said. The oil market remains tight, indicating it can absorb additional barrels, as the effective increase should be smaller, as several of the 8 countries are overproducing and demand is seasonally rising, said Giovanni Stanovo, analyst at UBS. Algeria was among a small number of nations that requested a pause in the output hikes on Saturday, a source familiar with the matter said. Oil prices fell to a 4-year low in April, slipping below $60 per barrel after OPEC+ said it was tripling its output hike in May, and as U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs raised concerns about global economic weakness. Prices closed just below $63 on Friday. Global oil demand is expected to grow by an average of 775,000 barrels of oil per day in 2025, according to a Reuters poll of analysts published on Friday, while the International Energy Agency in its latest outlook saw an increase of 740,000 barrels of oil per day. Besides the 2.2 million barrels of oil per day cut that the 8 members started to unwind in April, OPEC+ has 2 other layers of cuts that are expected to remain in place until the end of 2026.